which actually is kind of funny. I was actually talking to a guy that I worked with, and he gave me information on. I was looking for stuff to hike the Adirondacks at the time, and he's like, "Oh, you have to watch this YouTuber. He's great. His name's Darwin." And so I started watching Darwin, and then I learned about the AT through him and his channel. So I was like, "Wait, that's a thing," and it was like mind blowing to me. So at like 22, I was like, "I'm gonna do that one day." What's up, YouTube? My name's Miranda, and today I'm going to be talking to you about my reasons on why I wanted to hike the AT. So everyone has their own reasons for why they do things, their motivations, and the drive behind basically pretty much everything we do. I'm a firm believer that everything we do has a reason, whether we realize that or not. Yeah, there's always something going on in our lives that drives us to do what we do and make the decisions that we make. So for me, back when I made the decision to hike the AT, like I've wanted to hike it for many years now, out of interest. I've always had an interest, like that craving for experience and adventure. But when I actually was like, you know what, this is happening in January 2020, I was like, I'm gonna do it. And for me, I was like, you know what, I'm working what I considered for me personally to be a dead-end job. Now, there was nothing wrong with what I did. Anyone who has a job like that, like, I'm not saying it's a dead-end job, so please don't take that personally. I was a manager at a GNC. So, I mean, I had a decent spot, and I liked what I did. I enjoyed, talking about working out all day. I enjoyed helping people find things that they needed to help them with their health throughout the day, and just in life, and to improve their current living situation, and through being healthy and active. And I love that. I did love talking to people about that. I did make friends while I worked there, with customers and clients, and just kind of started to grow like a little community base out of the town that I was living in. And there's nothing wrong with that. But for me personally, I could not see myself doing that for the next 5 years. Using the AT kind of as an excuse to walk away from the social, what's acceptable as far as jobs and work, and just be able to walk away from that, so that I was going to have to be fully dependent on my photography, which is something that was a leap of faith that I was always a little bit afraid to take. Just walking away from a steady income of the regular job, even though it was minimum wage. I knew it was a guaranteed paycheck and it was a steady income for me. But kind of being forced to walk away from that because of the whole situation and falling into the photography, that happened a lot sooner for me. And I actually ended up, thankfully, so blessed. I am a full-time photographer now here in New Jersey, right outside of NYC, the mother of all places photographers want to work, the Big Apple. Yeah, so that's pretty awesome. I mean, I've always wanted to have an adventure. I think everyone wants to go out on the AT for an adventure. You're looking for something. And back when I was 22, when I originally was like, this is what I'm gonna do, and I found out about the AT, which actually is kind of funny. I was actually talking to a guy that I worked with, and he gave me information on. I was looking for stuff to hike the Adirondacks at the time, and he's like, "Oh, you have to watch this YouTuber. He's great. His name's Darwin." And so I started watching Darwin, and then I learned about the AT through him and his channel. So I was like, "Wait, that's a thing," and it was mind blowing to me. So at 22, I was like, I'm gonna do that one day. And I think that is always like stuck with me in the back of my head, and I'm definitely like the adventure and just the whole experience is like, it calls to me. I'm sure some people are like, what, like you just don't get it. Like I understand, because there are things that call to people that I'm like, why would you have any interest in doing that at all? For me, I know that the AT probably translates like that for people, but it's just the experience, the adventure in it, seeing all those wonderful places, challenging myself. It's something that I still do, and something that I probably always will do is, you know, push myself and try to challenge myself to see where my limits are. At the time, at 22, I was going through a lot of stuff emotionally. I was dealing with a lot of crap. For some reason, felt like I had to wander off into the woods to actually deal with that, which isn't true. And you know what, today, like, I'd like to say that now, like today, or well, in January 2020, when I was like, I'm gonna do it, I'm gonna hike the AT. Part of it was like, you know, I'm gonna go out there and finally deal with these emotional issues of mine that I need to hash out. And I fantasized that moment of being up on the mountaintop and like screaming at the heavens because things just got so hard, and it was so like, just physically, it was as challenging as it felt emotionally and mentally in life. And you know, like I fall down on my knees and I'm just like, ah, why God? And you're just having this moment. And but the more I thought about it, you know, throughout the year, I was like, I already dealt with a lot of that stuff. So emotional, it might have started out as wanting to go out there and deal with some emotional baggage, and I'm sure that there is still emotional baggage in my life. I know that there's emotional stuff that I need to deal with still. I don't think anyone's ever really fully done dealing with that and growing in that aspect, because stuff's always happening and things are always changing. But to go out there now, I'd say it used to be focused on like the emotional, but I mean, I already dealt with a lot of that stuff. So if that makes sense, the emotional side of going is a little less. My reasons were a little less on the emotional side than I originally thought they were. Another reason the AT called out to me and I had an interest in going out there and, you know, wandering through the wilderness was to find a sense of community and meeting a bunch of people that, you know, like-minded individuals who were out there doing the same thing that I love to do. And, you know, I do still think they're out there, and I mean, I know you guys are out there. I've met quite a few of you technically already through my YouTube channel, which is awesome. And I love having you guys here and being able to share my experiences and my gear, my hiking stuff with you. And I think that's great. So, I mean, really, it's almost like just wanting to hike the AT. I've already gotten a lot of the reasons why I wanted to go, like, checked off in a sense. Yeah. That might sound weird, but I feel like, you know, when you're so focused, when you have like a goal in mind and you're focused on it constantly, you actually end up doing all the steps to get that done. And you actually work towards that goal, and you start accomplishing things. Because if you think about it, I've already pretty much done everything that I've asked the AT gods to help me with. So, neat. So my reasons for wanting to hike the AT were the experience and the adventure, you know, dealing with some emotional baggage and breaking up the monotony of, you know, just living by the social norm of what's acceptable in a job and in the workspace, and what my life is supposed to be, and living my life the way that society says it's supposed to go as to what I wanted it to be. All that being said, unfortunately, I will be postponing my AT journey until further notice. It's all for good reasons though. I have been blessed with so many opportunities here that I am just super, super excited to see through. And, you know, so it's not a bad thing. It's all good. I will continue hiking and sharing my adventures with you guys. Granted, I mean, they're not gonna all be AT related, but I do still have like a bunch of fun stuff that I am excited to go out and do, and even more excited that spring is finally around the corner. And I feel like, we're able to wake up, like life is finally waking up from this deep slumber, and things are gonna start happening again, which is always super exciting. And I'm thrilled to just share my adventures with you guys. My girl Joy is still hiking the AT, so if you want to follow her and her adventure, I will link her blog down below, because she's going to be blogging about her journey and sharing that with you guys through that platform that way. So if you want to check that out and give her support, I'll put the link down below for that. And once again, I want to say thank you so much for sharing your time with me. I hope you have a blessed day, and as always, I will see you guys in the next one. Peace. This is Buddha. Hi, Buddha. Hi. Say hi. Say hi. Hi, YouTube. Yeah?